This video was made in collaboration with Second Thought. We made an accompanying video over on his channel about why so many young people are becoming socialists, which you'll find linked in the description box below. So get over there after this and subscribe for great weekly socialist videos. Right, I'm going to level with you. The world is fecked. Completely, utterly fecked. Young people living through the second major economic crisis of our lifetimes during the COVID-19 pandemic? Shite. Being forced to work in the gig economy or other precarious jobs with no contracts? Shite. Worker productivity increasing steadily for nearly half a century while real wages have remained stagnant? Shite. At the same time, housing, healthcare, education and all of life's basic necessities getting more and more expensive and inaccessible for normal working people? Shite. No clear end in sight for this progressively deteriorating situation emerging from the continuing boom and bust cycles of our economy? Shite. Skyrocketing rates of mental illness among young people connected to all this? Shite. Impending climate catastrophe ensuring our days are numbered? Load of shite. So, you can see why I say the world's fecked. But the good news is that we can pinpoint exactly what's causing all these problems. And not only that, we've also got the solution. Welcome to Socialism 101, a series designed to help educate people with no prior knowledge on the basics of socialism and communism from an explicitly Marxist-Leninist and Marxist-Leninist-Maoist perspective with short and easily digestible videos. If this sounds interesting to you, then go ahead and hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell below. Do be a star and give this video a little share around on social media, Twitter, Discord, Facebook, etc. as the YouTube algorithm's been going really hard on this channel lately for some reason. I can't imagine why a capitalist corporation like Google, which owns YouTube, would be going hard on an openly pro-communist channel like this one. It's a real head scratcher, but look, it is what it is. Do you remember all that fecked stuff I mentioned earlier? Do you want to know the main culprit behind it? The system of capitalism. And look, that's not to say that capitalism hasn't done some good stuff historically. It was a hugely progressive step forward from feudalism. But no system lasts forever. And if we want to solve the aforementioned problems, then it's essential that we recognise that capitalism's day has come and passed. Just like we couldn't reform feudalism to solve its inherent problems, we can't reform capitalism for the same reason. The day is past for patching up the capitalist system. It must go. It's time to move on to the next stage of historical development. Socialism. Now I know what you're going to ask next. If we're trying to achieve socialism, then why the feck are we talking about communism? The big bad scary C word that we've been taught to hate all our lives. Well, partly because it's fun to ruffle the feathers of the right-wing establishment. But more importantly because, while generally well-intentioned, no other progressive movement has ever actually succeeded in meaningfully challenging global capitalism. Ever. We've tried the social democratic route of voting the right progressive candidate into office, and time again it fails and demonstrates itself as being incapable of solving the problems that capitalism creates. Why? Because every state exists to serve the interests of its ruling class, in our case, the capitalist class. As long as the capitalist state remains intact, no amount of piecemeal reform, nor elected good guys, will ever be able to overcome the fact that the system is specifically designed to maintain the very capitalist rule that's destroying our planet. The whole thing's set up for us to fail. It's fecked. Other progressives recognise this too. To their credit, there have been anarchist uprisings which genuinely sought to overthrow capitalism and which have had some success. But the movement we call communism, specifically Marxism-Leninism and Marxism-Leninism-Maoism, based on the historical materialist understanding of social historical development, has progressed us further along the path to complete liberation than anything else ever has in history. Not only have we brought about real-life socialism, but we've also progressed further beyond that first step into fighting back against the revisionist backslide into capitalism to maintain the socialist road and continue the advance towards a stateless, classless, moneyless society. Despite many errors along the way and the innumerable criticisms we must have of previous socialist experiments, the communist movement has still advanced the liberation of all working people further than anything else in history. And for that, in my opinion, it's worth carrying forward the torch of scientific socialism and the revolutionary communist tradition. To put it simply, communism works, and we've got 150 years of proletarian struggle to prove it. If you'd like to learn more about this movement, about working class revolutionary history, and about the scientific socialist path forward to collective liberation, then this series is for you. It doesn't assume any prior knowledge, so if you're still scratching your head after this video asking questions like, what is communism or what is socialism, but you're intrigued and want to learn more, then you're in the right place. We'll start simple with the basics of Marxism, explaining all the terminology and jargon, including a lot of the terminology used in this video, then gradually ramp things up through more intermediate and then later advanced level theory. We're going to analyse the problems of capitalism and class society more broadly, how we found ourselves neck deep in this capitalist heap of shite. But we're not just going to diagnose the problems. We're also going to map out a clear path forward to overcome them, in line with what's been uncovered through the concrete historical experience of working class liberation struggle, all the way from the Paris Commune of 1871 to the ongoing revolutionary people's wars being waged in places like the Philippines right now on this very day. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you found it useful in one way or another. If you're able to support this work, then please consider donating €1 or $1 per month over on Patreon or a once-off donation over on Ko-fi. Links in the description box below. Thank you to Rare Hero, Cormac O'Brien, Dan Hunter, Red Corridor Raya, Christian Napalis, Daniel H, MLM in Practice, Comrade Romano, Jason, Michaela Schmid, Mamarius Hex, Ryan Hodgson, Donald Christopher, Gabriel Bailey, Lepanion, Hugh Jass, The Rhineway Condition, Jess, Ian McShay, Soup, Pontus, Colin Walsh, Hagen Mitchells, Evan Crossland, and Boraku Gorilla. I wouldn't be able to make these videos without yous, and I certainly wouldn't be able to pay my bills. Cheers everyone, agus long fóill.